Welcome everyone to Ep.6 of Over the Line Podcast. We have a ton of stuff tonight. We have MLB, NBA, NHL, PGA, NASCAR, maybe F1. We have soccer, lacrosse, and of course we have the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to stay focused. There's a lot.
I make no promises, Casey.
Yeah.
I apologize.
We probably will not stay focused.
I'll try to get us to the draft, and then I'll lose all sight of everything that I know.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right.
So, I guess we'll just jump right into it. Well, before we jump into it, anyone got anything from last weekend that they're upset about, happy about?
The system, I'm struggling.
Oh yeah, let's get a check in.
I don't blame the
in on the system.
I blame my picks. I'm not seeing the board very well. I think if you used my system with someone actually competent at betting the NBA that does it on a regular basis, it would work. I do not.
He's been on Cooper Flag watch for too long. He's not.
Exactly. I've just been watching bad NBA basketball all year. I've been watching Paul George attempt to play sometimes.
Yeah.
Quit his podcast just to get hurt 2 days later. Sad scenes.
God. Yeah. No, I don't know. Tonight my parlay for tonight just died while we were waiting, like while we were counting down.
You had 9.5 for the Celtics?
I had 10.5. And then the Celtics, they were up 9, got the ball, and then it looked like they got fouled or they called a timeout, and then they just threw the ball out of bounds.
They're like, we don't want this parlay to hit.
I don't know what happened. It was dumb as shit. And
they were like
I'm mad.
Dalton systems on the line.
That's awesome.
But I'm gonna stick with the system because it only takes one.
Right.
I've been trailing them.
I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize.
You may want to just play your own picks and just use my system.
Yeah, just follow the
system.
Yeah.
All these, are you seeing a lot? Like, are you just missing it by one pick?
A lot of times, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe I just need to pick the one I just don't feel good about and switch that one, and then go with the other two.
Maybe.
But all right, what's Chris saying already? Here we go. If Will Levis from the 2020, oh my God, would he get number 1 or number 2?
Pass.
No.
He would get drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders because he has better traits, but that's it. Like someone would draft him higher than Shedeur will go, but that's not necessarily
which is silly.
That's really sad to think about.
You're right. You were right. Though. Go through the process for a second. Just think about
it.
Shedeur, Deion's son, Cole, all this stuff. We don't love the trades. It's fine. But this Will Levis kid, he throws the ball 90 yards. He eats mayo in his coffee for some reason. We don't know what that's about, but we'll let it pass. Cool commercials, I guess. It's easy sell, honestly. But anyway,
Levis would be
so to answer
your 3 for me in this class.
He'd be a number 1, Chris. I know that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And sorry to hear that about your parlay, man. It just means more.
Rebound. That's tough.
It just means more in the SEC. I was in SEC country over the weekend. I just felt like it just meant more when I was down there. But let's go ahead and
SEC country.
I do. I went to the concert at Kroger Field, which is Kentucky's football field.
Gotcha.
So I walked in. It's like it just meant more.
It just meant more than up north.
Yeah. All right. What were we going to go over first?
Right, we made it negative into the podcast before this already started.
It's already off.
Anyway,
all right. We'll go NASCAR. NASCAR and F1.
We're going NASCAR first.
Yeah, okay. Oh, see, I already messed up then.
Tell me about the drivers, folks. Tell me about the
okay. All right. Go ahead and kick us off. What?
Dega. That's where we're at this weekend.
I know.
Talladega.
Right. You want to go ahead and kick us off then?
Sure. So I got a few picks. So I got
it's the Jack Links 500. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Talladega Super Speedway. Super speedways, go with the guys that win typically. Usually it's either going to be chalk or there's going to be a big wreck. It's kind of the way it goes. It'll be someone you out of nowhere, or it's going to be a favorite. Not usually like it's hard to pick like those like in the middle guys. I would just go with one of the favorites. I'm taking Ryan Blaney at plus 1,000 this week to win. He's got some of the best odds at plus 1,000, which shows you how much of a crapshoot the super speedways are.
Yeah.
And then I got Tyler Reddick to finish top 3 at plus 450. Usually does pretty well at Talladega. And then to try to just make sure I get something out of this weekend, I'm taking William Byron top 5 at plus 150. And then I got a fun themed parlay this week for my top 10 parlay. Triple B parlay.
Oh, wow.
Give me Kyle
Jack
Busch,
thinks
Christopher
about
Bell, and Chase Briscoe all to finish top 3 at plus 298. Busch,
Nice.
Bell, and Briscoe top
I like
10.
that.
That's long for
Those are
me.
some NASCAR names right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also went Kyle Busch to go top 3 at plus 300 because he won. I think he won like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
something like that. So I just went with him. That was my only pick for the weekend. Shane, you got anything for the Jack Links 500?
No.
All right, Jake. I assume you went to the more sophisticated rooms and you bet on F1.
I would, but there's no F1 for
Did you have any NASCAR?
No, I don't have any NASCAR.
Uh,
I don't know anything
Shame.
about NASCAR, so me picking. People don't need to hear my NASCAR picks.
It's kind of where I'm at too. I simply cannot with it.
All right. So I get that was NASCAR. Wasn't a huge segment, so we'll just move on. Next, what about?
Let's get our soccer and lacrosse.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's
boys
what it
out
was.
of the way.
Soccer.
That's what we're here for,
Jake.
really.
All right, here we go. There you go, Jake. Let's get the soccer. Sorry, there was just so much, and I
It's
already
a big
forgot
week.
my list.
It's a big week.
Yeah. All right.
We're getting to the end of big soccer stuff, right, Jake?
Yeah. There's in the leagues. There's about probably 5 games left for each team, and then all of the European Cups are in the semifinals now. So
Championship Sunday 2 weeks from now for the Premier League.
no, I think semis are 2 weeks from now. It's probably like a month away. I think they usually do it at like the end of May.
No,
or
the
something.
Premier League, not the Champions League.
Oh,
EPL.
yeah, it should be like 2 or 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
Okay. You want me to go first, Casey?
Yep. I think
Oh.
you're the only one that's got soccer picks.
First, last. Too.
Yeah.
You ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So I only have 3 this week. I got 2 for the Premier League. I got Wolves and Leicester. I got a draw at plus 330. These are bad teams. Leicester already got relegated, so that kind of tells you how their season's going.
Wait, Leicester got relegated?
Yeah,
No way.
they're bad. They got relegated like 2 years ago, and they went down to the championship, and then they got just
I don't
promoted.
think I realized that. I haven't paid much attention to the Premier League in several
Yeah,
years.
they've
Chelsea
fallen
has
off pretty
ruined
hard
soccer
since
for
that,
me.
since that title. But yeah, they're relegated. Wolves would be relegated, but there's just some really bad teams in the Premier League this year. I think these teams are just both bad, and a draw at plus 330 feels like pretty good value. And then I have Liverpool money line against Tottenham at minus 380, and those odds sound really bad, but I promise you this bet is free money. Tottenham hasn't won at Liverpool in, I want to say, close to like 25 years now.
Yeah.
They're 15th in the table, so this league game means nothing to them, but 4 days after this game, they have a semifinal match in Europa League, so I don't expect them to play any of their starting 11. I would expect a lot of young guys. They just have a much more important game, and this one doesn't matter.
I see.
So yeah, and Liverpool is top of the league by I want to say 15 points. So if this doesn't hit, I might just stop betting on soccer forever.
It's a retirement game potentially for.
Yeah.
And then my last one, you'll like these names, Casey. This is in Germany.
Oh, hell yeah, let's do
So
it.
we got between Holstein Kiel and Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm taking Gladbach money line at plus 115. I promise you, those are real teams.
I believe you.
They're just a lot better, and I'm surprised that they're getting plus odds to win. So
Of course, yeah, they're definitely much better this year, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was reading about this morning about the.
Yeah.
I
my
whenever I do
German
these
news
soccer
I get.
picks, whenever I do these soccer picks, I just try to find one with like a name that Shane's just not going to believe.
Hell yeah, that's what I want. That's what we want. That's what the podcast is built off of. No.
All right. So soccer picks. Dalton, I know you got some lacrosse. I think you said it was conference championship weekend or conference tournament weekend or whatever.
Yeah. So haven't done great betting lacrosse this week or this year, but I am betting 3 futures. They're technically futures. They all will wrap up this weekend though. I just bet on the winner of the 3 big conference tournaments in lacrosse this weekend. So I've got Notre Dame to win the ACC at plus 135. They're the favorites. They're looking like probably the best team in the country. That should be a pretty easy pick. And then went out on a limb a little bit on Penn State at plus 275.
Oh, no bias there, right?
Honestly, when it comes to lacrosse, I'm more of a Maryland guy than a Penn State guy.
Right.
Penn State's kind of new to being like a really competitive lacrosse program. And appreciate it, Chris. But yeah, I think that Maryland is just going to kind of peter out in the tournament, and I think they'll get after it more once the NCAA tournament comes around. Penn State's has been looking really good lately. I like them to win the Big Ten at plus 275, and then finally, give me the chalk in the Ivy League. Cornell is just kind of a wagon right now, and I'm taking them to win at minus 200. I don't care if it's not great value. Cornell's winning the Ivy League. That's just how it's going to be. But I did parlay those three together to all win, to win their respective tournaments. Comes out to plus 1221.
Nice.
So parlay them together, solid value. And I mean, it's 2 favorites and probably the 3rd place team in the Big Ten in a close Big Ten.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna trust you.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna trust you on that one. All right, let's get into the PGA. So this week we have the Zurich Classic. It's a little different this year. So Dalton, can you give us a little explanation? Or this tournament probably isn't different this year, but yeah, it's a little different tournament style.
So this is kind of an annual weird little European tournament that typically you're not going to see all of the studs this week, but there are some very good golfers, including arguably the best golfer in the world right now, playing in this tournament.
Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the way it works is everyone's in teams of 2. And the way rounds 1 and 3, players will each hit a ball. And then they take the best score out of those 2 guys on each hole. So if one guy bogeys, one guy pars, that team gets a par for that round. And the teams of 2 have a combined score for every round. In rounds 2 and 4, they will do what's called alternate shot. So each hole they'll alternate teeing off, and then one guy tees off, the other guy hits the next shot, and so on and so forth. And then the next guy will start the next hole. But again, it's team golf. That's basically all you need to know. It's 2 guys working in a team of 2, trying to have the best 4 rounds. Who wants to get us started? You want to get?
I think it's just you and Casey, man.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick us off. So I went ahead and did a 5-pick parlay for this weekend.
Casey's like, I don't know what's going on. Give me 5.
Embrace the chaos.
Yeah,
Give me 5
I'm just
picks.
embracing the chaos here.
I appreciate that.
This feels too easy what I'm betting right now, but I'm going to take it. So I have Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy to finish top 10 at minus 250. And then I have Kurt Kitayama. I think I'm saying his last name right. I apologize if I'm not. I know you're watching right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Colin and his partner's Colin Morikawa. Them to finish top 20 at minus 230. I have Taylor Moore and Wyndham Clark. Speaking of Wyndham Clark, at top 20 at minus 140. I have Aaron Rye and Tigala to finish top 20 at minus 120. And then I have Bryce Garnett and Sepp Straka to finish top 20 at plus 100. All those together at plus 1,162.
Pretty good value for
healthy.
Yeah, it felt, I don't know. It just felt good, so I'm riding with it.
I like it. My picks are going to be very similar, but I didn't do a parlay. I just straight bet a top 5 or top 10 or top 3 and a winner. My top 10 bet this week, I'm taking the Højgaard brothers at plus 230. Just honestly for the fun of it. They're both solid golfers. I don't think either one is going to weigh this team down too much.
Be really sad if that's what happened.
What's that?
Be really sad if that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, man, one of the brothers really screwed the pooch, man.
Yeah.
Tough.
Luckily, this is one of the more chill tournaments, though.
It has to be, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
I was trying out there.
Which kind of segues into my next pick. For top 5, I got Aaron Ryan Saad Thigala at plus 450. I think this being a more chill tournament is going to help both of these guys kind of get a little bit of a better grip on things this week. They're both guys that have played good at times this year, but just haven't been able to put 4 rounds together. I think they're not going to have the stress of the weekend, like Aaron Rye did later in the Masters. He started off pretty well at time, and then just couldn't finish rounds. I think this is going to work really well. Also, they're two guys that I think complement each other really well in terms of Thigala's putting and Rye tee to green. So I think they're a good combo. I think plus 450 on them to finish top 5 in a pretty weak field is really good value. And then finally, speaking of this being a weak field, don't overthink the winner pick this week. Lowry and McIlroy at plus 360. You can still triple your money on these guys. I mean, Lowry's no slouch, and he'll do enough to keep McIlroy in it, and McIlroy is literally playing better than anybody else on the planet right now. He is just on an absolute heater. You should probably bet McIlroy every week going forward. I mean, he's just too good right now.
Is he about to go on a little Scotty Scheffler run?
I was gonna say he's channeling that Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I mean, and thing is, Scheffler's still playing great right now, but if I had to pick right this second, it's Rory over literally anybody.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, Jake, what do you got?
I don't have anything for golf.
I thought you did.
I did some research into the format, and I understood how it worked, but with them switching from twosomes to foursomes, I didn't know what I was betting on, so
Gotcha.
I decided to stay away.
The foursome wording is really confusing.
Yeah,
it's not an actual 4-man scram. It's a 4-man group, but you're just playing with your guy.
That makes sense when you say it like that. My brain did not read it that way. So I was like, are they
silly.
I was like, am I betting on these people for one day and then they switch teams and then?
Yeah,
but that makes sense how you explain it.
I'll be honest with you. I went on good old FanDuel. I saw 2 names listed and I quit. I turned it off. I shut my phone. I shut my phone down. I'm like, all right,
Okay.
I quit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have better things to do except figure this out.
I get it. All right. Let's get into NHL. Jake, I know you said you had some NHL picks.
Yeah, I got some.
So you want to kick us off with this?
I just have 2 series props.
Okay.
I took the Stars to beat the Abs in their series at plus 150. I just took the plus odds on this one. This is a really close series. The Stars kind of got killed in game 1, but game 2 was really fun. Game 3 just started, so I imagine the odds will probably change after this. So I would probably still pick the Stars in this series, even if they lose, but the odds might change depending on what happens in the next couple hours. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And then I also took Edmonton at plus 180 to win their series over LA. They almost had a crazy comeback in game 1. Fell just a little bit short. I believe this game kicks off in a little bit too, or I shouldn't say kicks off. I guess I should say they dropped the puck. But so the odds might change on that one a little bit. But I don't think Edmonton loses, even if they still go down 0-2. I kind of still like them in the series. I mean, they have the 2 best players in the series, and McDavid and Draisaitl. They've beat the Kings, I think, the last 2 years in a row in the first round, so the odds will be much better. So if you want to bet on them down 2-0 if they lose, then that's up to the listener. But I would probably still take them. I think right now the odds are pretty good as well, so I'm taking them to win the series. And that was all I had.
Shane, do you have anything?
No, I decided that I didn't want to, spoil anyone's fun by trying to figure out what the hell to do with hockey when I haven't watched it this year. So maybe next year, maybe I'll be like, I'll watch other hockey besides the Penguins because they're not so good anymore. So.
And Dalton, you said you didn't have any hockey.
I have one hockey bet. I have a future. Since my future originally was Rangers to win it all, and they're out of it. I went with kind of a fun future here. I took Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup at plus 1,600. I just think, especially after what we saw the other night with that game against the Kings, this could be just a time where Connor McDavid just says, I'm winning the cup. Fuck everybody else. It's mine, and I don't care. And I think that's what's going to happen. And yeah, I'm just going to bet on the best player going off for the next
luck to you, sir.
6 weeks.
Good luck.
And
gotta get one eventually.
Way too good of value.
Yeah, it eventually has to happen.
You'd think so. We'll see.
Yeah.
But,
I just picked an outcome for all 4 games tomorrow. I have the Wild plus 1.5 against the Knights. They won on whatever day they played 2 days ago, whatever, against the Knights. They're at home. And then I have Lightning money line over the Panthers. I have Maple Leafs plus 1.5. I think they're leading that series 2-0 right now over the Senators. So I'll take that. And then I have the Jets money line over the Blues. I think the Jets are 2-0 in that series as well. So all 4 of those are at plus 572. So
not bad.
Something a little light.
Lighter, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our NBA picks. Shane, do you have any NBA picks?
I do. So I have a light, little 5-leg parlay for tomorrow and also Friday as well. So we got the Pistons money line at home against the Knicks. I picked them to win the series. I think this is going to be part of that series win. I do think they're going to take care of business at home. I have the Grizzlies to continue to get blown the hell out, minus 8.5. Thunder minus 8.5 over them. I just think, again, the Grizzlies are beyond cooked. If you couldn't tell from the first game, second game was somehow way better and still was terrible. Like, they're just pretty thoroughly shish kebabbed at this point. It's just not good. So Clippers minus 5 as well. I'm at home over the Nuggets. Again, I didn't believe in the coach bump firing situation with the Nuggets. I think that it's just not their year. Maybe they could figure it out with a decent offseason with some different acquisitions there, but I don't see it for them this year. I just really didn't get the odds. So plus 100 for the Pistons game, minus 112 for the Thunder game, and minus 114 for minus 5 the Clippers. And then the Bucks, I have them winning minus 4.5 minus 110. Pacers are likely going to win the series, it feels like, unlike I thought they would. But I think the Bucks don't go down 3-0. I think that they fight back and make it a series here at home. And then I have the Lakers on the road, money line, plus 132 over the Timberwolves. Timberwolves shocked me a little bit with the first game, but I think things kind of evened up a little bit more in the second game. I think Lakers just better basketball team when everyone's healthy, so I'll take them. And that all combined together on a 5-legger is plus 3,047.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't bet on the Friday games, but I do agree with the Pacers. I thought the Pacers were going to win the first game, and then it was like the Bucks were going to wake up and just take over. And I don't know, but yeah, I don't think they'll just. I think they'll take this one. I guess I'll go next. I have the Pistons money line against the Knicks. I have Thunder money line. I don't know. Something about taking the spread just doesn't sit right with me with this one for some reason. Even though they blew out the Grizzlies, whatever it was 120 something to 80 or something like that. It was something crazy.
Well, they lost by 51 in game one.
Yeah,
and they lost by 20 something. I think it was the other night.
So yeah,
they're just.
I know something. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to, but I just couldn't.
Now it'll be a John Morant masterclass, 50 points. They'll lose by 4.
Yeah,
and it's all right, cool.
Yeah, and then I took the Nuggets plus 5 against the Clippers. I think this will be another close one. I think the Clippers will end up winning this one. I don't think Kawhi is going to drop 39 points again. I think Kawhi will still have a great game. I just don't think he'll have that type of volume of points. So I'll take Nuggets plus 5, but I think Clippers ultimately win that one. And if you take all three of those together, it's at plus 377. All right, Dalton, do you have any picks?
Yeah, so I have a parlay for tomorrow. I'll tweet it out tomorrow morning like I normally do.
Of course.
But for tomorrow's picks in the system, I am taking the system. I'm taking Pistons money line. So we already know that one's cooked if we're all on that.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I am taking Thunder minus 8.5 against the Grizzlies. After looking at those first two games, my thinking was before I even saw the line, I was like, if it's even close to 10, I'm taking it. And that's kind of what it was. Where I was at when I saw 8.5, I was like, at this point, the Grizzlies got to show they can keep it to single digits before I even think about the Thunder not covering.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then I did take Nuggets plus 5 because those games have all been really close. I think that was kind of one where you just kind of got to take whoever's getting points. But those three together parlay at plus 611. So I have a chance to win back most of what I've already lost this NBA playoffs.
There you go.
Yeah, the play-in tournament is funny when you realize that 3 teams were just fighting to play the Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as the Grizzlies won the playoff the playoffs, I'm like, that's great. You just basically signed up to get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
The same thing would have happened to the Mavericks and the Kings.
Yeah.
They both would have.
Oh yeah.
I don't think any of those 3 teams won a single game.
It's insane.
What's the Grizzlies' plan to put actual talent around Ja?
There isn't one, Dalton. Okay, as a
idiot
fan of
is
this team, they don't know. They thought they had all the talent they needed. They were fourth or third in the West for a lot of the season, and then they're like, "What if we're just the worst team for a while?" And then we're screwed. As soon as they made it into the play-in part of it, I'm like, "You guys aren't doing anything. You're not beating one of the top 3 seeds. Get out of here."
It's just John Morant carrying. And then
Desmond Bane will show up every so often and drop 40 points. Jackson will have 8 blocks and it won't matter. It's all right, great, awesome.
The hope is just that Edie can get enough offensive rebounds.
Yeah, pretty much.
That Ja can just score enough. That's it. That's the whole setup.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I hate it.
The NBA kind of sucks right now.
It'll be fun.
From my perspective, it does. You're right.
These series just kind of suck.
Yeah,
there's some good ones though. I mean, the Clippers Nuggets is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I thought the Bucks and Pacers would be a lot better, but
yeah,
I still think Milwaukee will win the next two, but still, I mean, that's
Who's
kind of
winning the NBA title this year?
just gonna be the Thunder and the Cavs. I think
Ew.
maybe the Celtics will be back.
And like I don't know. You look at like a lot of the historic, like a lot of past champions. I feel like there's nobody in this field that would even come close in a 7-game series with like a lot of your past champions.
I mean, I think the Thunder are unbelievably talented, but they're still after years of this Corbin year, they're still young. So it's like I don't know.
They
They
get
can mess
swept
up
by a lot of those Warriors teams, though.
Oh yeah, but also every
Yeah.
team ever to play
But-
except for those Warrior teams would
Yeah.
also get
I
swept.
think if you look at like Denver from 2 years ago, I think this Thunder team's probably could beat
I think so too.
that Denver. We'll have to see how the playoffs go. It's only been 2
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of NBA, I have just 2 series props. Let me find the odds real quick. I have the Pistons to win their series at plus 205, which feels like pretty good value.
Mhm.
It's 1-1 going back to Detroit, and Cade Cunningham is really good. I don't know. I think the Knicks are typically pretty disappointing in the playoffs, and I like this.
Thibodeau effect, man. Thibodeau effect.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why I picked them. I'm like,
Yeah.
get out of here with that.
But yeah, plus 205 just feels like good value. I got the Timberwolves also winning their series against the Lakers at minus 105.
Ooh.
I don't know how I feel about the Lakers. I mean, they got blown out in the first game. They won relatively comfortably last night, but it was close, and the Wolves played probably as bad as you possibly could in the last 3 minutes. Like, just watching the last 3 minutes, they made the wrong play on every single one of the last possessions, and they still played a relatively close game. 1-1 going back to Minnesota. Saw Anthony Edwards take over in the playoffs last year. I don't know how I feel about the Lakers. I don't know. Like they look good, but through these first 2 games, I would say Minnesota's looked like the better team. And it's going back home 1-1, so there's a decent chance it should come back to LA 2-2 at least. So yeah, I'm taking Minnesota there.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, and then we're almost to the draft, folks. We're almost there. One last thing
This
for the
pod
draft.
and in real life.
Yeah.
Almost there.
So we have MLB. I have 2 parlays for tomorrow. I'll go over them real quick. My more toned down parlay, I have the Twins money line against the White Sox tomorrow at minus 225. The Athletics plus 1.5 against Rangers. I don't think DeGrom has a win this season yet. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he does. So I'll take the Athletics plus 1.5 at minus 122. And then I'll take the Orioles money line against the Nationals at minus 105. All 3 of those together is plus 413. And then my more out there parlay, I have the Mariners money line against Boston, Diamondbacks money line against the Rays, and then I had the Pirates money line against the Angels. All 3 of those together is plus 819. All right.
Fair enough.
Who else got MLB?
I do. I just want to throw this out there real quick, though, for you, Casey. Jacob deGrom has not won a game this year in 4 starts, but he's 0-1 with a 3.32 ERA, so he's doing his job. The
He
Rangers,
is, okay.
however,
Sounds
are not.
just like when he was on the Mets.
Oh, yeah, it's just a somehow not quite as bad version of that
Yeah.
Mets run he had. So, just wanted to throw that out there for you. But, yeah, I have a parlay for tomorrow's games. I have Twins also, but I have just them to cover minus 1.5 against White Sox. White Sox are about as bad as advertised, I would say, roughly. Not going so well for them, not that we thought it would. I got the Red Sox at home against the Mariners. Crochet dealing this year, like really good for them. That's been looking good. That was plus 130 for them. I got the Angels minus 1.5 over the Pirates, plus 134. It's the Pirates. They stink. Somehow the Angels are significantly better than them. This is what they get, so I'm not going to pick them in that game. Rangers minus 1.5 plus 102. Sorry, Jake. The Athletics are better, a little bit better than I thought, but that's is what it is. And
Very
Diamondbacks,
fair way to describe them.
pretty much, yeah. Diamondbacks -1.5, +155 at home against the Rays. Rays disappointing this year. Diamondbacks, pretty solid team. And the NL West is just stacked from top to bottom, except for, of course, the Colorado Rockies. All that together, though, parlay is at +5,239. So very healthy on that one.
Nice.
I got a little 4-leg parlay. I took the White Sox money line at +185 against Minnesota, just because these are two really bad teams, and I'm taking plus odds. I got the Giants -1.5 at +160. Brewers have been coming on after starting pretty terribly to begin the year, but Giants have had a good start, and at +160 to just win by 2 runs at home feels pretty good. I also took the Angels -1.5 against the Pirates at +140. I just think the Angels are better than the Pirates.
Indeed.
And I would feel comfortable. I'm sorry, Shane, by the way. But I would feel comfortable probably betting against the Pirates every day that Paul Skeens is not pitching.
That would be probably a way to win money. Yeah, I would think so. You could probably win money doing that.
And then I also bet against my own team. So if that makes you feel
but though, what's going on.
I took the Rangers -1.5 at +102. Feels like good value for that because the A's are god awful in Sacramento. They are 2-8 in Sacramento on the year.
They're just, they're just not feeling at home, right?
Yeah, if they played every game on the road, they probably would be like a playoff caliber team. They just shit the bed at home every single time. So yeah, I think Rangers to win by 2 is pretty. Being at plus odds, it's kind of hard to pass up. So.
I like it. Dalton, do you have any MLB picks?
Nah, not for today.
All right.
Real quick, I wanted to throw this out for Jake. I feel like he probably knows this a little bit, but apparently Jacob Wilson of the Athletics, I believe shortstop for them, right?
Yes. Top 3 shortstop in the AL.
Oh, yeah. He is batting apparently – he's .337 this year, as of an hour ago at least, I guess, and has not walked or even seen a 3-ball count this season, which is awesome. We are a decent way into the season, and he has not walked or even had the opportunity to walk it.
He's one of my favorite players to watch. The A's this year, I don't know, they have the same hitting coach, so I don't know what changed, but they are significantly more aggressive. They swing at the first pitch almost every single at bat. I think in general, probably not that many 3-ball counts have been to for the whole lineup.
Fair. I understand.
He's funny. I think he had a 15-game hitting streak to start the year, and then he didn't get a hit for 2 games, and now he just has another 6-game hitting streak.
Hey,
he's just a contact god.
Are they doing that as a team, Jake? Just because the ballpark they're playing in this year is a lot smaller?
Well, probably because other teams are also aggressive. I don't know what it is because the weather, when it gets hotter, it'll be even more of a hitter's ballpark, but I think it's just a batting eye because the AAA team used to have this massive scoreboard and they took it out and replaced it. So now it's just this huge, the outfield is just this big green wall. So I think it's just easier to see the ball. But yeah, Jacob Wilson also I think only has a couple strikeouts also. Let me see how many he has.
Is he just basically
there was 2 weeks in the year he didn't. Yeah, 2 weeks in the year he didn't have a walk or a strikeout.
That's pretty awesome. That's real baseball.
Yeah.
I'm up here to swing the bat.
Yeah.
Shit. It's like me and MLB The Show.
Yeah.
I will walk twice a year, and there's fucking intentional walks.
When I take a walk in MLB The Show, I just like give myself a round of applause.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I was patient at that.
Sometimes I'll get the animation where they like throw up and in, and like your player backs out of the way.
I would have swung at that shit.
I already swung at it, and I get bailed because the player jumps out of the way.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best.
The worst is like when you're like, I know it's about to be a slider outside. And then it's a slider outside, and you still swing at it. Your dude does that silly ass
Or like almost eat shit trying to.
Yeah,
it's the best thing. It's so funny every time. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like what's going on?
Jacob Wilson has 4 strikeouts.
That's
so 0 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a .337 average.
He's a rookie this year.
Yeah, he played like 20 games.
I think he's rookie eligible, right? Yeah.
So it's so funny looking at his starting line because his batting average and on base percentage are the same.
You don't see that every day, folks.
We're like at the end of April too.
Yeah, it's not even like the first week. It's we've been playing baseball for. As Dalton says, not a sport.
Correct. Silly children's game.
All right.
All right.
Let's get into why we're all here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
NFL draft.
An actual sport. The
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah, just the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even.
Here's the thing, though. There will be more people freezing their ass off in Green Bay
True.
for the draft on Thursday than there will be for anyone to watch. I would argue there's probably going to be more people per team in the NFL as far as fans go than there will be at like half of your MLB games tomorrow.
No.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
supposed to have like
Not-
250,000 fans.
Not
How many
per
people
team.
go to the
Maybe
draft?
not per team. Maybe per team that's a
Yeah,
little.
I think about 250,000 this
But
year for Green
There will
Bay.
still be
I'm
more at the
50,000?
draft where nothing is going to actually happen. No
Yeah.
game is being played.
You're gonna watch
There's
men
that
People are
many
talk.
going to watch
people there?
names being read for the
Yeah.
NFL live than go to an MLB team and spend more money doing it too.
Yes, yeah.
Is it actually 250,000?
That's what I heard. Is like
That is
about the-
genuinely.
And I heard next year
insane.
the Pittsburgh is planning for 400,000 people
Oh
to be
my
in the
God.
city, which is going to be a nightmare. Let me tell you what, folks.
I'm sure
Which,
Green Bay's
If
ready
my
for
day
an
job
influx
does not
of
interfere,
250,000
Shane,
people.
we have to think about doing DSN
We
prospect pod
We have
live.
to do it.
Yeah,
we
we're
have
gonna
to try
be
to
we're
do
gonna
it.
be right next to ESPN.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to pull some strings. I have to talk to some people. No, I don't know. We'll see. But
I mean,
But-
you'll probably easily get credentials for that.
I
You
could
wanna-
probably if I really wanted to. Yeah, we'll have to. I have to see what the plan is for that because I haven't talked to the Steelers guys about it yet. But we'll have something planned probably. So we'll see.
Hit the sneak
But
in
yeah.
a little podcast
Anyways,
in a
MLB
backpack.
Not a real sport.
Yeah, yeah, MLB not a real sport.
All right, whatever.
The official position of Degenerate Sports Network.
Just a shitty attitude
Baseball's
right now about fun sports.
Uh,
All right, let's get in the draft.
Alright.
So I want you guys to kind of take over on this. So I'm gonna give my picks just real quick,
Okay.
and then you guys can tell me why I am wrong, and then you guys can tell your guys' picks. So I'll just do mine real quick.
Okay.
My first one is Kelvin Banks Jr. to be a top 10 pick at -155. My next pick, I really like this one, is total running back selected in the first round, over 2.5 at +155. That seems like a gimme almost. And you got to think it's going to be Genty, Hampton, and probably Judkins, but possibly Henderson can sneak in there somehow too. I doubt it, but so that just seems like a gimme. And then the craziest one I have is Ashton Genty to the Niners at +6,000.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
The Niners
like
the Niners are notorious for just like fumbling the first round. They don't know. They're like, let's just give up 4 years of first round picks to trade up for a guy that makes no sense, Trey Lance.
They
But
do be fucking around in the first.
yeah, so like it just makes sense for them to do this, and then we'll like trade them off in 3 years or something like that. But that's like my big showstopper bet. So we'll see if that one happens. But if that happens, I'll have to slide on the pod real quick because that means the Niners probably traded up. But
Probably.
They even traded McCaffrey to move up.
Yeah, they might have to swing a
they
little bit
probably would.
somewhere.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Banks
But, yeah.
one is weird because the odds on that is crazy because I am hearing more and more that the Saints are going to take him at 9, which is crazy.
I think he's either going to be 11 or he'll be right on that. It's
on
a
the
close
cusp
one.
of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good line.
I think I had
it's a
him to
great
the
line.
Dolphins a while back, but now I think
Yeah.
it seems like all the tea leaves are pointing to him being Saints pick potentially. So
Yeah,
it's crazy. So, and then the other one you had was the running backs prop. I mean, there's been a lot of first round buzz for Henderson again. Like I know Jeremiah had him at 22 to the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think at his mock. Like that seems to be something people think. His over-under, I think, is 23.5 right now, from what I saw. So Steelers, technically, if you go by the Steelers like pre-draft visits, like he checks more boxes than anyone else does. I don't think he's going to be the pick, but that's interesting to note. Like it's just So his name is certainly in contention to get called somewhere in the first round. So
yeah. I mean, I think over 1.5 is a gimme for sure.
Right,
I think
obviously,
2.5 could depth because I think Genty's obviously going, and I think Minnesota's a big candidate to slide down into like a little later, even in the first round. And I think they're gonna slide back into the late 20s and probably try to take Hampton, or if Hampton's gone, one of the Ohio State guys.
right.
So I think you just need one more team to want to take a running back in the first round for it to happen.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen. I think Hampton Junkins and Genty's like a gimme in the first round.
Yeah, I think what it'll be too is I don't know. There's not a lot of teams at the back end of the first round, like a lot of those playoff teams. Not a lot of them have big needs at running backs because they secured those guys in free agency last year.
Commanders are the notable team I could see maybe doing it too.
They got Deebo Samuel. He's a running back.
I think what to look for there is somebody moving back up into the first.
Maybe get that 5th year in contract control. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teams too at the top of the second that are going to be in the market for a running back if they don't take Genty.
Yeah, Browns are a name especially if they don't.
Browns, Jags, Raiders, all if they don't take Genty.
Yeah.
Big if there.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah. And the Genty Niners one is just fun. That would be very fun.
Yeah, that one I'm just like I would not be shocked, but also like doubt it happens.
Yeah.
But all right, now I'm going to turn it over to the experts here, and also Shane. I guess whenever it gets to you, if you just want to promote a little bit or promote the show tomorrow, because
of course
it's going to be a big day. So.
It will be. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But which one of you guys wants to give your picks here first?
Yeah, a couple. I can run through them real quick.
All right, sure.
So I just have 4 picks here. I have Shador to go top 10 at plus 320. I know.
Still riding the train, and we appreciate it.
I know there's so much smoke about him falling. There's really only 2 guys that look like they're probably going to be like legit franchise quarterbacks for like that you can feel really confident about, and he's one of them. I do think, and there's too many teams that have a need at quarterback in the top 10 for him to fall out. I just don't see it happening. And plus 320 feels like really good value and all it takes is one of the Browns, Raiders, Saints, the Jets. I mean, there's so many teams that could be in the market for a quarterback in the top 10 or someone coming up in to get him. I just don't see him falling. And then I have 3 first-round bets that I really like. Luther Burden at plus 190. I think him getting plus odds is just insane. I mean, that's a first-round player. Like, I don't know what he's going to do exactly in the NFL, but don't overthink it. Like, he's going to get picked in the first round. Someone's going to pick him, and he's going to be very productive right away. Just a good football player. Speaking of which, Donovan Jackson to go in the first round, plus 160. Feels like really good value. I don't see any way he falls, especially with injury concerns about some other offensive linemen. I just don't see any way he falls out of the first with the fact that he's proven he can play anywhere pretty much on the offensive line. I think he'll definitely get picked. Look for the Chiefs to take him late in the first. And then finally, Jalen Milroe. Plus 165. I just think 3 quarterbacks are going. I just don't see any way in which he falls out. I think at some point, once the first 2 come off the board, someone's going to panic and think, well, if we don't grab Jalen Milroe in the late first round, by the time we pick again, the best quarterback on the board is going to be Quinn Ewers. That's scary.
Yeah, especially if you're me.
Yeah, because I think what's going to happen is it's going to be kind of like last year. We saw like the panic just pushed everybody up the board. And I think, it's not going to be like last year where we had 6 guys go in the top 15, but I do think we have 4 go in the top 50 this year. And I think Milrow will end up cracking the first round, and then Dart will probably go early day 2, be my guess.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I get it with all of them. Yeah, I do. Again, the Sanders thing, he's the odds-on favorite to be the Steelers' pick for a reason. I do think he's going to fall all the way to their pick unless the team trades up a little bit ahead of them. That's kind of where I'm at with him. Whether we agree with it or not, I just think that's kind of his destiny at this point. Some of the comments he's made recently about, I think he said something the other day about his favorite quarterback is whoever's throwing the DK Metcalf and George Pickens. I'm like, all right. I think he kind of knows what's going on with him at this point, unfortunately. It's probably good for him not to go to a Giants team or a Browns team maybe, but, it still kind of feels like the writing's on the wall there. But if he does go high, that'll obviously be, really good odds on that. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. I got 5 picks. First one is Gency going at number 6. That's a plus 330. The value is really the main reason I took it there.
Man, that's such a change last 2 days, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, when I picked this, Gency was second for the players at the number 6 pick, and now Kelvin Banks has passed them at plus 250.
Wow, crazy.
So I thought that was interesting, but I think there's a lot of smoke with Jacksonville at number 5. I could see a team trading up ahead of the Raiders to get him.
Right.
And I think the possibility of that is why it's plus 330, because if he's there, I just don't see the Raiders not taking him. That doesn't really make sense to me. I took over 24.5 for Jackson Dart's draft position. That's at minus 200. I just don't see how he goes before 24. I think Sanders is the second QB off the board, and I think there's a pretty good chance he goes 21. So I just don't know where Dart is going before 24, because it wouldn't make sense for any of the teams I'm thinking about in my head. I have Mason Graham drafted top 5 at plus 300. I feel like this is going to be Jacksonville. I got Tet to be drafted top 10 at plus 230. Honestly, this is the one I'm the least confident in, but I still think he sneaks in at the end top 10. I think a lot of the stuff with him is smoke as well. If he does get out of the top 10, I think the team that would make the most sense is Dallas, but I don't think he'll get that far. And then last but not least, I have quarterback for the position the Steelers draft first at plus 100.
Fact is, plus 100.
I really think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders.
Me too. Yeah, I do think it's going to be him.
At this point, I would be happy with, Derek Carmen would make sense, but it's just at this point, I don't know. And yeah, that thing he said on the, what was it, Max Crosby podcast yesterday?
Yeah.
It
feels like he knows something. That's kind of my point.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, at this point, it makes, you never know what'll happen. But at this point, it just makes too much sense. But all of those combined, it's actually not letting me put it into a parlay.
So, I didn't think they would let you do it. Yeah, I was curious about that.
I was going to say the odds, but it's not telling me. So
the odds have been, looks like I own the world if I win. Looks like, if all these hit. Plus, is that 7 zeros? No. Yeah.
I actually get to buy DraftKings if I win.
I get to just own DraftKings. They don't pay me. I just hand over the keys to the company.
Parlay to take over the business.
Yeah, I get all of those. I do. I think that, again, this is a draft that's very hard to kind of pin down, especially outside of the first couple picks at this point. So a lot of things are in play, I think. But I have a couple, or I shouldn't say, I have a decent amount of picks here, so I'll try to be pretty brief with all of them. But some that are a little conflicting, admittedly, but there's a reason for that because I'm kind of trying to play both sides of the coin a little bit with some of these. The first one I had here is for Tedero McMillan to be the number 9 overall pick at plus 1,500. I think he could be in play for the Saints because there's like a million people in play for the Saints, in my opinion. Like their pick is kind of one of the hardest ones for me to pin down. I think the odds-on favorite right now is Mykal Williams, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. It is what it is, but I think plus 1,500 odds for one of the better receivers in the class for really everyone, including even me. I think it's totally fine. I have Mason Graham at pick 10 plus 2,000 or plus 1,000. I think that if he does fall from Jaguars pick of 5, whether it's because Genti is taken there or there's a trade or movement and stuff like that, I think he could fall all the way to 10, and I think the Bears would just stick and pick and take him, just adds more to that defensive line. I have Matthew Golden over under of 17.5 is over plus 130. I think at this point, my guess is he's a Seahawk at 18. That's kind of been my kind of thought process with him at this point. So that gets him just past that 17.5 mark. So I'll take the odds on that. Michael Williams over 12.5 at plus 260. So I think he's going to fall a little bit. So he's going to go higher than I would take him. He's not my top 50 players personally. But for the NFL is going to like him a lot, just maybe not high enough to take him in the top 12 picks. That's kind of where I'm at with him. And I have a couple of the first-round pick ones that Dalton's kind of hitting on. I like the odds on these a lot. I had Nick Scorton to be a first-round pick at plus 210. I think he could easily go to the Packers at 23. I think he could go to the Lions at 28. There's just a lot of spots that I think he could fit in at that point. And then this one's a little bit juicier, but I could see it happen. And I think we may have even – I don't remember because at this point there's been too many mocks that I've looked at. But Savone Revel to be a first-round pick at plus 290. Obviously, the injury thing clouds him in playing in East Carolina, all that stuff. But this is the type of player that goes high in drafts with his athletic gifts. So I could see that happening at the end of the first round.
I like that.
Yeah, that one could really be good. Still have a bunch more here, guys. I'm really hitting the draft ones here. Ashton Jeanty drafted by the Bears at plus 300 because I think that if he doesn't go 5, he could slide to them at 10 like we kind of all thought was going to be the case. Or they could be the team that the Jaguars move down with for them to come up and get him to secure him at 5. So I think either way, obviously that would hit at plus 300. Shedeur Sanders drafted by Browns at plus 215. This is partially because I just kind of want that to happen so it doesn't the Steelers because that's kind of my opinion of it at this point. I don't think it would work out for him or the Steelers at this point. So I'll let the Browns get him, and that would be great for my wallet in this case.
Wait a minute. Shedeur drafted by Browns is at plus 210.
215, yeah.
But him to go top 10 is plus 320.
Yeah, because in this case it would be them coming up in the first round to get him later in this situation. That's what they're talking.
Or maybe like second.
Yeah,
because like you're the Browns and if you're sitting second, just take him.
Yeah, if they like him enough, which they don't, because it's got a trade and Travis Hunter. I think that's the headcanon. They're going to come up and get him later, so maybe they do. Hopefully they do. Then I also have this kind of is why I have like a conflicting one earlier. I had Ted at 9 at plus 1,500 and I had Golden over 17.5. But if I'm wrong on that, and if it is going to actually be the Golden hype that we've been getting, Matthew Golden to be the first receiver picked at plus 200 and McMillan to be the second receiver picked at plus 255. Like odds on both of those. If that obviously happens, I think Golden or Ted will be the first one. Whoever comes off the board first, the second one will go after them. So that makes a lot of sense. Last two I have Browns take both Hunter and Sanders at plus 240. That's where that kind of Sanders play comes in, where if they take Hunter at 2, come back up in the first and get Sanders later. That's kind of, I think, the ideal situation for the Browns and for Sanders is for that to end up happening. They get to kind of play together still, obviously. That should be fun. And they don't have to start Kenny Pickett, hopefully, for their sake. And the last one, this one is just more for fun, and I just kind of went with the depth of the class and the Chiefs picking last right now. Running back to be Mr. Irrelevant at plus 800. I think it could easily be a late round flyer running back that they add to that group. So that'll do it for me on that one.
I like those picks. I really like the Revel pick because I do think I think cornerback 4, although maybe cornerback 3 from all the
maybe.
But
with Will Johnson hatred.
Yeah, the last corner in the back end of the first round, I think it could be anybody.
Oh, it could be a lot of guys.
It could be. I mean, you'd think Morrison, but apparently teams are souring on him.
Did he work out today? Did he do his thing that he said he was going to do? I heard that he was supposed to work out the day before the draft. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he did or not.
I'll have to look that up. It would go ahead.
But yeah, it could be Morrison, it could be Hairston, it could be Amos, or I mean Revel. I think all it takes is one team to feel good about it, and he's going to go high.
Could be. Apparently, 25 teams attended it. The Morrison private workout. So
Well, damn. All right, Shane. So what's going on with this show tomorrow?
Yes. So tomorrow at roughly 7:30 is what I'm shooting for. We'll make sure of that beforehand. I'll tweet everything out tomorrow. But roughly 7:30, we will be going live with the DSN Prospect Pod, specifically myself and Jake will be kicking things off. We'll have a bunch of guests, including Casey up there. Dalton, unfortunately, won't make it till the end of the night because he has obligations outside of our little thing we're doing here. But he will be on eventually, probably to take over for Jake and I when we're dead from trying to react to all the stuff that goes down. He can just kind of give us a spiel while we're like, okay. So that'll be a lot of fun. But we'll have a bunch of people coming in and out. We'll have picks for or team guys coming in for their team's picks, like Casey, of course, there with the Niners. We'll see if they move up to 5. We have to be like, Casey, get in here, man. Run, get in. Yeah, so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be on for the whole first round, giving reactions to each pick, kind of breakdowns, where we kind of how we feel about the players, what we would have done, the whole 9 yards. So it'll be a lot of fun.
What time did the first round get over last year?
It was midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
It had to be after me. I was going to say it had to be closer to 1, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a little after midnight, I think.
Shane and I were streaming until about 1.
I think we were on until about 1. Yeah, roughly.
It was that was a marathon. It was.
I was on for a little bit, then I got off, and you guys were still on for like 2 hours after that, and I was like,
damn.
"Oh my god!"
Yeah, we had a good time.
That was hilarious, especially especially for it to just be 2 guys for a lot of it.
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare for us. We're just trying our best.
The best are the pee breaks when one of us has to run to the bathroom and the other guy just vamps.
I was just reading. I'm like, I don't know if I agree with whatever. Well, it's still the best, and I hope that we can top it this year. But it's going to come down to the league doing something insane. But the Penix pick to the Falcons.
Oh my god!
And that's being like 10, 15 seconds off.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to make sure.
Yeah, Jake and I at least are gonna try to make sure we're on the same page. And then the guests, we're just gonna have to hope that they can figure it out because, you guys might be ahead of us, behind us. I don't know, but you're just gonna have to figure it out. But it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, dude, Jake, you have it made. I didn't even think about that. It'll be from like 5 to 10 for you.
Jake's gonna be like, I don't do stuff after this, and I'm gonna be like,
that's like perfect.
It's so good too because on Friday it's like I think it starts at like 3:00 here. And I think
is it not 8:00 again?
Something like that.
I thought it was 8:00 Eastern still, but I might be wrong.
But then I do wonder, Jake, thinking about the time zone. Yeah, for the draft, works great. But I was thinking about you were giving out soccer picks earlier. How does watching the Premier League work?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, what time does
that start? I'll say trying to watch an F1 race is significantly harder.
Yeah,
really.
Those are usually at like 3 a.m. I honestly just record the games. Honestly,
you were right. By the way, Jake, it's at 3 Pacific, so you'll have even better time. So it will be a lot of fun.
The NFL Pacific time zone is like by far the best for that.
Oh, it's elite for the NFL. Yeah,
it's so NFL Sunday is so good.
Yeah,
good.
You can do stuff afterwards. Meanwhile, I'm on like every night game for the Steelers. I'm up until 2 a.m. writing about whatever shit happened.
See, I kind of like that being like the nightcap. Like I turn the game on at 8 and be like, all right, after the game, I'm going to bed.
That's fair. Yeah,
I don't like that. It was weird. Like when we went to California, and then like watching like a college game at 4:00 or whatever it was.
And you're like, man, I still have stuff to do after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, those like SEC primetime games always start at 4:00 or something like that. It's even better for college football though, honestly, because it starts at 9 a.m. So it's literally just all day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always the Hawaii game that ends at like midnight here or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Hawaii game's still at like 3 a.m. for Pacific time.
R.I.P. Pac-12 after dark, by the way. R.I.P.
Yeah. Now it's Big Ten after dark.
The good old days were the whack days.
Oh yeah.
Those games, they just buried them at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Oh, they probably like ESPN the Ocho.
Yeah.
Fresno State.
Oh yeah. No.
All right.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So those are it's a long episode. We appreciate anyone that's still sticking around. Honestly, this is a light episode for you guys compared to for tomorrow. So,
we'll be on for a little longer than this.
But yeah, so definitely tune into that. Let us know if you follow anything. We will have a home run parlay out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll try to have it out by noon Eastern because I think the first pitch for tomorrow's game is at 1:10 Eastern. So we'll have it out by noon. So make sure to follow that. Unfortunately, we didn't hit last week. Obviously,
I don't know if any of our players got 8 hits at all.
Yeah, it was kind of more impressive that I was looking at it. They were all like, it was bad. But
we should try to do one time like a strikeout parlay or something.
Yeah, players not to get a hit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll try a home run parlay for a couple more weeks, and after that, we might switch over to like pitcher strikeout lines or something like that.
Yeah.
Parlay.
Hit parlay.
Hit parlay. Yeah,
We should try to find a way to do like an 0 for 4 parlay. Like just can go 0.
Golden sombrero parlay.
Yeah. So
not going to be picking any A's in that one.
But we appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, we'll have the home run parlay out tomorrow, so look out for that. We'll have it tweeted out. All of us will retweet it or re-exit, whatever the hell it is, repost. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah.
Re-exit.
Yeah, re-exit. Whatever it is.
This app, please.
Yeah. So tune in tomorrow as well for the first round of the draft. Good luck to all of you guys that are hoping that your team picks the next future player. Probably not going to happen this year, but there's always next year.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but there's always next year. But thank you again for watching, and we will see all of you tomorrow night. I'm assuming everyone's just going to watch tomorrow. So
hopefully.
Yeah, that's just going to be. Yeah.
Put Kuiper on mute. Listen to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't need to hear what Mel Kiper saying anyways.
No one
just
needs
give him his banner. That's all.
You just lose brain cells listening to Kuiper.
Yeah, we will give you more insight than Mel Kiper, and that's not because anything to do with him. It's just it's kind of time for him to probably.
I feel like Mel Kiper, he wakes up. He's gonna wake up tomorrow morning, and he's gonna open up his closet, and then he's gonna have a hair piece just sitting there, and it's gonna be in a cryotherapy chamber.
Perfect.
And he just opens it, and it's just
it's just.
He's like, it's time, and he puts it on. He's like, this is the only time I'm on camera for ESPN this year. So
I could see them CGIing his ass in there.
There's gonna be a CGI Mel Kiper at some point.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Hologram Mel Kiper.
Yeah, hologram Mel Kiper. All right. Mel Kiper. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.